too, because you would always need someone in power above everyone else to keep communism working.
No, you don't. True communism, you don't. So happy I got back this tool to Mystic. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Options, control, drop selected item, escape, doesn't have a key.
Then
What?
I mean, technically, don't ancient like civilizations follow? Like I'm talking like that island off of Africa where like there's still primitive tools. Don't they kind of follow communism in the sense
No,
that
they
they only
chiefs,
take
don't
what
they?
they need?
Are you saying there's like what they do to the land?
Yeah.
I suppose, but that's more on the borderline of being self-sufficient. So they're taking what they can, making sure that future generations can also take.
But the chief only eat. Does the chief eat better than the rest of the people?
I don't think he does, but I think
So
he
then
gets to do less work than the rest of the
they
people.
have core communism beliefs.
No. Their beliefs are you eat what you get.
Huh.
So the harder you work, the more you get. What I think. I don't really know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm talking about they're all. So in communism, if you work harder than the rest, you don't get more than the rest.
No, you
That's
don't.
not part of
Everyone gets
communism.
the same exact
Just-
amount.
No matter how much work you put in,
No matter how much work
you
put
just
out.
work the hardest you can, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that would never happen.
You work as hard as you physically can, getting the most out of your body, and taking the bare minimum that you need.
You take the same pay as everyone else.
There is no money in communism.
Well, no, but you take the same amount of food as everyone else. You know.
Well, not necessarily, because a kid needs less than a grown adult.
True, and
People
then
get
like
more food than other
if you
people.
just so happen to get sick, you take the medicine, not everyone else.
But you get the same amount proportionally.
I see. Everything is everyone's when they need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like communism.
Nobody
Just
likes
with-
communism. There's a reason it didn't work. It can't work. And it doesn't reward the people who work harder than others.
And that's
There's a
I
reason
guess.
that the communists couldn't keep up with technological advances. Because the scientists weren't getting any benefit for working harder. So they had no reason to try to develop new stuff.
is there still communist countries today?
There's no downright communist countries, but China is technically a communist country.
What makes China communist?
I don't know. I just know that it is.
All their herbal medical medicines.
Yeah, I guess.
'Cause China's pretty technologically advanced.
Yeah, but they're not pure communist.
I think they're under a dictator, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, a lot of places are under a dictator. Like Russia. Oh, my bad. They're under a presidency.
That just keeps getting extended.
They're under a permanent presidency. It's a lot different.
Yeah, dude. So, did you see, like, 2 months ago, dude, all the congressmen for Russia
That were
signed
running
a
against
paper
him.
that were running against him signed a paper saying he could be president for another 13 years.
Well, yeah, because you know what happened to all the people that didn't sign that paper?
Murk.
No, nobody knows what happened to them. They didn't exist.
You know he's the richest man alive, they believe.
No, there's no evidence to support that.
Not his...
He's technically the poorest person alive because, according to our government, he has zip money.
But if he was to, it'd be around, I don't know, 200
Yeah, a lot of people have
billion.
estimates. But
I don't know, Jeff
Russia's
Bezos is
laws
almost
don't
richer.
force them to disclose the amount of money they have.
Yeah, I don't think America should do that anyways. I think financial situations should be private.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole Trump tax papers. Well, I understand why you want him to release his taxes. I mean, eh,
I don't think that you should be able to force people to release their taxes
because
without
that's
a probable
personal
cause.
stuff. And one, trust me, the IRS will catch you before anyone does with the records public.
Yeah, but the issue is that.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. I'm gonna watch.
The neo-Nazi movement?
It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
Немцы дают парусу деньги, парус через Рейн.
To this day, after the time in history when it was founded, we still need communism.
The gentle laborer shall no longer suffer from the noxious greed of Mr. Krabs.
Said if you could go back in time and kill baby Hitler, would you? I need to know. Hell yeah, I would.
If you're a hardline Marxist-Leninist or Rosa backstabbing suckdem, you already know what it's like to advocate for left-leaning policies on the internet. And by left-leaning, I really mean anything to the left of Reagan. It's just a constant barrage of Venezuela, Animal Farm, and human nature. Just a waterfall of memorized talking points internalized in birth and spat out like the world's wrongest fountain. Even the tamest of tame suckdems are getting hit with the Venezuela line, which shows just how far right everything has gone. If you're one of those people who instinctively reject any idea of socialism or communism and just yell some overused line to debunk it without engaging in a discussion, you're probably not gonna like this video. I don't even really know what you're doing here, just go write that con about helicopters and how Vladimir Stalin killed 100 trillion people. There is a specific type of person I'm trying to reach, however. It's the type of person that understands that capitalism is flawed, but can't bring themselves to support communism or socialism simply because they've been indoctrinated since birth with the holy lines. But what about human nature, though? The biggest obstacle to being leftist is dealing with all these gotcha marks, but once you take a step back from the flood of Vuvuzuela, you'll realize that all of them don't make much sense. The problem is that a lot of people simply haven't heard responses to all these anti-communist arguments, which is why I'm going to do the world a favor by debunking all of them, and hopefully none of us will ever have to deal with these arguments again. Oh, who am I kidding? Admittedly, this first argument is more of a misconception than anything else, and surprisingly, it tends to come from people who are new to the left, and, well, sometimes people who are just misinformed.
So what socialism means is the government does some things and the private industry does some things, right? So private industry does Coca-Cola, Nike, makes your shoes. Government does other things like your police department, your fire department, your military. So you like the military? Oh, what a socialist you are.
No. Just no. Basically, the argument goes that socialism is whenever the government does anything, so everything related to the government is socialist. Following this logic, libraries, welfare, fire departments, garbage removal, streetlights, policemen, the military, the CIA, FBI, and prisons are all socialist. Hopefully everyone can agree libraries are good, but grouping these things with the military, police, and prisons is ridiculous. The police is the same institution that shoots unarmed black men, incarcerates a massive amount of the population, and gets away with murder. This type of talk comes from people who want to normalize socialism to normies by showing them that, technically, the United States already has socialism. And while I agree that normalizing socialism is good, at the same time, it's not good to basically deprive it of all meaning. So, what is socialism? Well, it's common ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange. Related to that is communism, which is a stateless, classless, and moneyless society with common ownership of the means of production. But wait, wasn't the Soviet Union and all those other places communist? How could they be when there was still a state? Well, they were run by communist parties, so they are in the sense that they were trying to achieve it, but strictly speaking, they hadn't achieved a communist society. That's enough definition squabbling. For the sake of streamlining the video, I'll just call any country that advertises itself as communist or socialist as a communist or socialist country, even if it's a bit of an oxymoron considering the definition. So please don't flame me in the comments. It's supposed to be an introductory video, and that you're already typing it. The image that comes to most people's mind when the communists or socialists talk about wanting more equality is that of a bland, boring dystopia where everyone is forced to be equal. Communism would essentially force everyone to become part of a hive mind, or at least that's how the general idea goes. However, the idea that more equality means suppressing the talented elite to the common level of the masses is just wrong. When communists say we want more equality, they mean freeing the masses so they can unleash their suppressed talents. After the October Revolution, there was a flourishing of art, culture, and creativity. The Futurist movement, legalization of divorce for women, and the growth of cinema were exciting developments compared to the Tsar's regime over the masses of people. It turns out liberating millions of people from the clutches of capital creates an exciting artistic society, not one where everyone is forced to be a hive mind and conform to some incorrect abstract idea of equality. Meanwhile, in capitalism, schools prepare students for a lifetime of work, while workers have to become mindless drones in jobs that the majority of them hate. Any sort of excitement or interest is usually reserved for the rich and powerful, while
I
the
do
rest
like
of us
the
go on
idea
with
of
their
food,
boring
though.
lives. People worse off have to deal with the growing ecological